Hey everyone, welcome to my first episode of 31 Days of Halloween. Yes, I had a few subscribers and people comment that I should do the 31 Days of Halloween challenge, I guess it is, which in previous years I really kind of like avoided doing because I just thought I don't need to do that because I pretty much watch horror all year round. So why would I do specifically 31 days? I realized once I got into it, it was actually pretty challenging. And I actually thought I had a really original idea, which turns out I discovered a few other channels have already done this. But what I decided to do for my 31 days of Halloween was dig out a whole bunch of movies out of my collection that I have not watched that are horror movies and finally get around to watching them and give you my honest opinions on them. And now here's a side note for people who collect physical media, and I don't know if it's unique to horror fans, but and I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of movies over the last 4 years since I started seriously collecting that I kind of knew they would be stinkers when I bought them, just based on the cover art and the description and sometimes even the title of the movie. And so these were movies that, like, I think I subconsciously decided I just wouldn't watch because I sort of knew deep down they were terrible, but I bought them anyway because they were cheap and I thought I want to beef up my horror collection. And who knows, maybe one of these will be like a gem or something. But I think we all know. And I've been having this thought more and more recently, like, you've got your Friday the 13th and your Alien and your Nightmare on Elm Street and your Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And I'm starting to feel like I think I've seen like all of the really good stuff, and I've already collected the really good stuff. Now I'm just like, it's like dribs and drabs of like, this might be good, but it's probably not going to be good. I'm sure there's still some gems that I haven't seen, obviously, but I think for the most part, I think you get to that point as a collector, you're like, I mean, if you've never heard of a movie, oh, here's some ASMR for you. You get to a point in your collecting where you're like, I probably have most of the good stuff. And maybe there's a few gems hidden here and there, but overall it's probably mostly going to be crap. So unfortunately for me, this week has been sort of torturous because every night I've been watching a movie for my 31 Days of Halloween, and every night has been more or less a stinker that is a really, really bad movie. And so I was not by today, which is Sunday the 6th or whatever, I was not a very happy camper. So I'm going to try to trudge through these 6 titles. So from October 1st to October the 6th. And you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And then, I'm really scared because the rest of the pile is basically the same kind of looking stuff. So I'm like, I've got 31 days of hell, basically. And so I hope you appreciate all this because look what I do for you. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll find a gem in that stack. I mean, I do have It's Alive Part 1, 2, and 3 in a box. And I thought, I've only seen Part 1. And I thought, well, maybe It's Alive Part 2 and 3 will be good. So who knows? Maybe later in the month. And maybe some of you are out there shaking your heads going, oh God, no. So you'll have to give me a bit of forgiveness here because I got asked to do this, or it was suggested to me like on the 30th of September or even the 1st of October. I think it was the 1st of October. And I had already picked out a movie to watch, which was in a thrifting haul. So I watched it anyway. It's not really a Halloween movie. It's actually kind of a kid's movie. But the movie is The House with the Clock in Its Walls. So September 1st's movie choice was The House with the Clock in Its Walls. This stars Jack Black and Cate Blanchett. And it was directed by, believe it or not, Eli Roth, who also did Hostel and the Thanksgiving movie that came out last fall, and Cabin Fever. And so this was a bit of a departure for him because this is kind of a family movie, really. It does have some witches in it, and it's got some. There's some jack-o'-lanterns, and it's got like a spooky castle thing house in it, and it's full of ticking clocks, and it's kind of creepy. I think I may have mentioned in my other video, but I've grown really fond of like family Halloween kind of movies, like the Goosebumps movies, or like Monster House, or um, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I've been kind of enjoying those this year. Maybe I'm just not in the mood for like extreme gore and terror, and I'm just looking for something a little lighter. So this one kind of fit the fare. I don't think this is a great movie, but I think it's okay for what it is. It's enjoyable. I picked this up. I don't know if this was in my last thrifting haul, but I did pick this up recently in a thrifting haul. It's the DVD Blu-ray combo. Nice looking movie. Pretty good atmosphere. Like the house is kind of creepy that they're in. It's got all those ticking clocks, which for older viewers, like we grew up with ticking clocks in our houses and grandfather clocks in our grandparents' house, and so it kind of had a cool vibe to it. The little kid was really good in it. His acting was great. Yeah, this will probably be one that I'll revisit down the road. Maybe it'll be a literally like a double feature with Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark or something like that. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. If you're looking for something a little lighter, maybe something to watch with the family, or maybe you're with your partner or close friend and you're just looking for something not really terrifying, but just kind of put you in the Halloween spooky house, kind of jack-o'-lantern, kind of vibe. House with the clock in its walls. The next one I watched was Omen 4: The Awakening. Yeah. And guys, I'm really going to struggle to remember a lot about these movies because they were really, really dumb. I mean, these were bad movies. And again, like I kind of knew. And what I did was I basically put all of the horror movies that I've never seen, I put them in a great big stack. And I'm just taking the one off the top. So it's not like I'm not hand picking these choices. Now this one I did pick. I have higher up, I don't know if I can show you, but higher up on my shelf, I have right there. See right there? Right there. Right there. That's the Omen box set. It has the original 4 movies plus the remake. And so I've seen part 1, 2, and 3, and I like those movies all right. I don't think they're amazing, especially not part 3. Part 1 is probably my favorite. Part 2 I have a soft spot for some reason. I don't know why. I know a lot of people don't like that movie. So I had never seen Omen: The Awakening. This is this like Damien's daughter or something? I really don't even remember. It says the shocking conclusion to the scariest story ever put to film. This was directed by somebody named two people, George Montesi and Dominique Othman Gerard. I don't know. I can't even. The printing is like, it's like this tiny silver printing on black. It's really hard to read. I can't even see what. Oh, it's 1991. I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was a straight to cable movie. Maybe I don't think this had a theatrical run. But yeah, it wasn't very good. The little girl in it was pretty creepy, as you can see there. I mean, she looks creepy because she's in red with a severed doll's head and 666 and candles around her. But I thought she was actually pretty good. I enjoyed watching her performance on screen. But yeah, this movie, not good. I would not. If you have never seen The Omen, like the original one from the 70s, I would recommend watching that. And Omen 2, which I think was, I want to say early 80s, if I'm not mistaken. It's not bad. Part 3 is the one with Sam Neill in it, where he's like the president or something. It's really stupid. And this one just goes even further downhill. I'll probably never watch. I've seen the Omen remake when it first came out on DVD, but I don't think I'll ever watch it again. This one, Omen 4, also stars with a little girl with Asia Vieira. The couple in the movie was Gene and Karen York, played by Woods and Grant. Why doesn't it give their actual full names? I don't know. It says it's a thrilling shocker you won't soon forget. I don't know about that. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to remember anything about this movie. Okay, it was Faye Grant, Michael Woods. Oh, Michael Lerner was in this. He was really good in this as well. So yeah, but I would recommend skipping this one. I would only recommend this to maybe like Omen completionists, if there is such a thing. I have not seen the first Omen. I have no interest in seeing that. And is there other Omen movies? I don't know. I don't even want to know. The next movie I watched, oh man, you guys, like, this was torture for me. I fell asleep and had to rewind movies so many times this week, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna watch one really good movie to balance this out. But anyway, this is a 4-movie marathon cult horror collection. Guess which one I watched? Yeah, I watched this movie here. I watched, yeah. It's that's a special movie right there. Now, I've seen Funhouse, I've seen Phantasm 2, I've seen Serpent and the Rainbow. Those were all good movies in my opinion. Very enjoyable. The movie, which might be one of the worst names for a horror movie I've ever heard, was a great big turd. They have 2 movies on one disc, so the quality wasn't that great to begin with. But let's see if now look at the print on the back of this. This is always, you know what? I did get a magnifying glass. I wonder if you guys would let me go grab it. Just hold on. I'm going to go grab my magnifying glass. I'll keep talking while I'm doing this so that you don't feel like you've been left all alone. Yeah, I recently got a magnifying glass because I'm getting to that age. So let's see if I can. Oh, it's a little dusty. I just inherited this from my grandmother. She moved out of her apartment and left a bunch of stuff, including dishes and things like that. And so I snagged a couple things, including this. It was forward thinking on my part because I knew eventually, if I didn't become a sleuth, I would need this for just because I'm desperately old and cannot read anything. So this movie was directed by Bernard Kowalski, and this film stars Strother Martin, Dirk Benedict from 1970s hit classic sci-fi television series Battlestar Galactica, which lasted for 1 season, and also stars Heather Menzies. Yeah, this is from 1973 from Universal Studios. The film is called and there's a terrifying, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a terrifying shot from the film there of a giant snake. This is about a doctor who does experiments with snakes, and let's just say some of his assistants go missing, and it's not what you think. Those snakes are venomous, but that's not what happens. Now, I've always had a crush on Dirk Benedict ever since the 70s. When I was a little kid, I thought he was just the cutest little string bean you ever saw. So I was happy to see that he was in this because I knew going in, this movie's probably going to stink really bad. But when I saw his name in the credit, I thought, well, at least it's eye candy for the next hour and a half. And he was really cute in the movie. This was before Battlestar Galactica by about 5 years. So the special effects makeup was pretty cool. I can't talk a lot about it without giving it away, although I feel like if you haven't seen it by now, chances are you're probably not going to. It came out in 1973. What's that, like almost 50 years ago? Or over 50 years ago. But yeah, it's like there's like they go to a carnival and there's a half man, half snake thing there. And the practical makeup on the person was really good. But I'll leave the rest to your imagination. I would definitely not recommend this movie to anybody. I would not make my mom watch this, and I've made her watch some pretty bad movies, but it wasn't good. Wasn't good. And again, like I bought this set because I wanted to see Funhouse, and I wanted to own Serpent and the Rainbow. I already have Phantasm in a Phantasm box set, but the movie was definitely not one that I was like excited to watch, especially when I looked at the cover and saw like the image there. But I think if you look at that long enough, you can probably put together what happens. But anyway, it's not good. Not good. You see the lengths that I go to for you guys for my 31 days of hell. I don't know if I'll do this again, because unless I pick like some classics and I just do classics, but I feel like everyone's talked about those ones so many times. Like, oh, I'm gonna watch Halloween from 1978. But what am I gonna say about it that a billion other people haven't said about it? So yes, I love the movie. So I don't know. So maybe I'll pick some more obscure ones that I've watched that are good next year. But I don't know. This was a real grind. The next one, and all of these, like I said at the beginning, were in a pile of movies I've never watched. I do have quite a few stacks of those, believe it or not, at my other residence, and so I'm sort of bringing them to my new apartment bit by bit, pile by pile. So when I got this kind of invite to do this, I grabbed these ones. So all of these are ones I bought, just put in the closet, never watched, and again, like deep down, I knew like, oh, it's probably not going to be good. This one is Amanda Seyfried and Gary Oldman, and I saw Gary Oldman. I thought, maybe. And this is the movie Red Riding Hood with the lenticular slip. There's some more. Ooh, do you want me to some? If you like some Blu-ray ASMR, physical media ASMR. Red Riding Hood, yeah. And this is from the director of Twilight, the Twilight series, and this includes a theatrical and extended cut. I watched the extended cut. I read about the extended cut before I watched it just to see what's the difference. I think it's less than a minute of extra footage on it. So I just decided to watch it. And I think the extra footage was like a sex scene in the snow or something. So I thought, maybe, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I sat down and watched this the other night. I was actually pretty cozy when I put this on. I had my Halloween lights on, and I had the lights off, and I got all cozy, and I had some tea and blankets, and I was very happy. And I thought, well, maybe this will be like Sleepy Hollow or something, maybe this will have that kind of warm, fuzzy feel to it. And the background, like the sets and the cinematography, I thought was actually kind of good. Like it was just the much like I've only seen the very first Twilight movie. I saw it in the theater with my son way back in the day. But I'm not really into those movies with the like super good looking kids in it that are like, they're sexy vampires or they're sexy werewolves or they're sexy whatever. They're just too good looking. Okay, calm down. So I was just really not that excited about this movie. Gary Oldman pops up. He's like a professional like werewolf hunter. And so when he comes onto the screen, I'm like, okay, I can tolerate this. The ending is really cheesy, corny, feel good, lovey-dovey. This was probably made not long after Twilight, so it's basically like, instead of vampires, it's werewolves. And at the beginning, they think they kill a wolf, and they think that this is the werewolf. And when Gary Oldman comes in, he's like, no, that's not the werewolf. The werewolf is among us. And so then they proceed to make you think it's this person, and make you think it's that person, and make you think it's this person. I'm not that smart to figure out who's the person is, but it entertained me a little bit, because I was like, oh, it's the old lady in the cabin, or oh, it's the boyfriend, or oh, it's the guy, the jealous guy who's not the boyfriend. So I had all these like, it made it tolerable, but not great. I thought some of you guys might like this too. On the inside, it has immerse yourself in Blu-ray. This is a rebate offer inside for a Blu-ray. I think this movie came out in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, but for those of you who like those kind of like retro inserts, there's the Green Lantern video game. You can get the Clash of Titans, a 3D Blu-ray, and then there's some various titles down there that you can get. What do we have here? I'm sure they're gems. Hubble 3D, Clash of the Titans, Yogi Bear, Legend of the Guardian, the Polar Express 3D Blu-ray, and then this says the PS3 when it was first coming out. Check that out. Pretty cool. Plays all those modern things like DVDs and Blu-rays and 3D movies. So, and there's also an ad for a Batman game. I think, is that Arkham? Is it the Arkham City? Yeah. So yeah, so Red Riding Hood, not great. I would say if you like Twilight, you would probably like it. That's not saying much, but this will definitely be a one and done, as most of these movies are for me, I think. I don't know if I'll keep any of these. So Red Riding Hood, yeah, like if maybe you have like a tween kid in your family and you want to watch something a little spooky, you know, but this is like, it is not good. It's not good. But then again, maybe I'm just old and jaded and I like darker things, and maybe it is actually okay. I don't know. But I would say, like I said, if you like Twilight, or you like those kind of like teen romance kind of movies, or maybe you've got a kid that likes those kinds of things, or maybe you don't really like the gore and the violence and all that, but you want something a little spooky, like maybe like Sleepy Hollow, but not anywhere near that good, or like the 2010 Wolfman, those kind of things, Van Helsing. Not my cup of tea, but I would probably lump it in with some of that stuff. I have 2 more movies to go, guys. The next one up is called Bug. No, it's not the William Friedkin Bug. I wish it was, even though I didn't really like that movie, but it was way better than this crap. This was directed by Jeannot Szwarc, who I know did something else. This is from writer, producer, director William Castle, who also did The Tingler, I Saw What You Did, and Rosemary's Baby. This stars Joanna Miles from Judge Dredd, Patricia McCormick from The Bad Seed, among others, and Jeannot Szwarc, who apparently also did Jaws 2. I would much rather watch Jaws 2 than this thing, but anyway. Here's the disc with the bugs on it. This is not I thought this was going to be like, based on the cover, I thought this was going to be like a giant bug movie. And I actually get really grossed out by giant bugs, so I was actually pretty nervous going into this because I thought this is going to gross me out. But it turns out it's just, it's cockroaches. See, they are so smart they can spell words with their bodies, and they wrote, "We live." This movie was really bad. This is one of the ones I fell asleep watching and had to rewind it, unfortunately. This stars Bradford Dillman, Joanna Miles, Jamie Smith Jackson, from a screenplay by William Castle, produced by William Castle, a Paramount picture, rated PG. That was the other thing. As soon as I saw it was rated PG, I was like, oh God, this is going to be really bad. I can just tell. There was a couple of kind of gross scenes with the bugs, but overall it was just cockroaches, like little cockroaches. I mean, they're gross. I wouldn't want them in my house, but they didn't like swarm people in the movie. They were just like, they're just there, and they spark. They're from like way under the ground, and they spark this electricity, and it can set things on fire, like including people. Yeah, and it's just like they introduce the bugs, and then you think like, oh, it's gonna be like a infestation, and they're gonna like take over the town, and they're gonna like kill all these people. but it was mostly like just here's a cockroach and it kills this person, and then they go and do these scientific experiments on these cockroaches, and then a cockroach kills somebody else, and then they do more experiments, and like, what was the point of this movie? I have no idea. This was from 1975. So again, I kind of thought, oh, well, maybe it's, or initially I thought giant bugs. Then when I realized it wasn't giant bugs, when I started watching the movie, I thought maybe it's going to be like The Swarm or like The Killer Bees or those kind of movies. But then they didn't really they weren't really that terrifying at all. They were just like crawling on the ground. I mean, characters in the movie were like picking them up and like studying them. And I was just like, okay, so they're not really threatening except they emit this little spark. Like, guys, do not watch this movie. Watch the William Friedkin Bug if you want, but do not watch this. Those movies are not related, by the way, but do not, under any circumstances, watch that movie, Bug. I don't even know who that would appeal to. Like, people who really like bugs in movies or something, or like, I just like bug movies. I don't know, guys. This was a torturous week for me, and tonight I did get a bit of a reprieve, although some of you will probably laugh, but I just picked this up today at a flea market. Of course, I've seen The Howling, but I've never seen The Howling 2. Your Sister is a Werewolf. That's the subtitle of it. I'd never seen Howling 2, so I decided to grab this. It was only $1 at the flea market, so I thought, well, even if it's really bad, I can say I watched it, and if it's okay, I'll just keep it in my collection and get rid of my other copy of the Howling on its own. This is a double feature 2 DVD set from MGM. This film was directed by Philippe Moussa, it looks like. This movie starred, and again, here's another thing. This movie starred Christopher Lee and Sybil Danning, so I thought, maybe, just maybe, Christopher Lee in a 80s horror movie. I think this is from 84. This was at least the most entertaining of all the ones I've watched so far. For 31 Days of Halloween, I would say Howling 2 was definitely, so far, has been the most entertaining. I didn't rank these movies this week. I'm just going by the day, because, well, honestly, they'd all be like a 0.5 out of 10 or something. But I know you guys are probably shaking your heads, or maybe you're having a good laugh at my expense. I don't know. I definitely won't probably do this again. As if you've been watching my channel for the last 2 years, you know that I review movies sometimes I've never seen, but it's only one movie, right? I just watched 6 movies I've never seen, and basically they were all duds. Howling 2, really nothing to do at all with The Howling, the original one, which is actually a pretty cool werewolf movie. It has Dee Wallace and Patrick Macnee. It was directed by Joe Dante, the original. If you want to watch a Howling movie, I would probably say watch the first one. This one is really, really weird, and that's probably the only reason I can give it like an okay rating. I'd give it maybe like a 2.5 out of 5. I know some people love this movie just because it is so damn weird. And I would say, yeah, it is definitely very strange. And for that reason alone, it's like entertaining. I was trying to think of other movies it would go well with, like, and it's one of those ones where if the first movie in the series is really good, but the sequel is not that good. So like House 2, or like I'm trying to think of another one, like Night of the Demons 2, or like any of those kind of ones where it's like not as good as the original. You could probably do a double bill with The Howling 2, but Christopher Lee is Christopher Lee in it. Of course, he's charming and wonderful. Sybil Danning's pretty intense actually in this. The werewolf makeup was really bad. I was reading before I started recording this that they filmed this in the Czechoslovakia, I think, and apparently they ordered the werewolf masks to come over from the United States, and when they opened the boxes up, it was not werewolf masks, but it was the people who had made the masks had basically refurbished masks from the Planet of the Apes TV series and basically just glued on more fur and said like now they're werewolves. And so apparently like they were all just so mad when this arrived on set because they were expecting werewolf masks. And so I was also, I didn't pick it up in the movie, but apparently Christopher Lee said like, because he was such a apparently such a consummate professional, he said like he made up this line to go in the movie that like when people turn into werewolves, they turn into these kind of like monkey kind of people before they fully turn into a werewolf or something, to kind of like just smooth it over and try to make it like just do the best you can with what you got. So yeah, Howling 2 again, I would, you know, it's like if you love The Howling, the original movie, this movie has nothing to do with that, and it is pales in comparison. Now I know that I've heard, and I've never seen any of them, but I've heard the Howling series just does a total nosedive as it goes along. So I probably won't even bother with like 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, however many there are. This was enough for me. But again, like I would throw this on a double feature with another like kind of corny 80s movie. It does have some pretty cool like gore in it, like gross out, like practical effects. There's a scene where somebody gets their head squeezed by like a force or something, and then their eyes pop out and it's all bloody and stuff. That kind of stuff was kind of charming. There's like the Sybil Danning character does this weird like magic, and there's like these beams coming out of her hand, and like look, it's so 80s looking. I know a movie I was thinking was Big Trouble in Little China. I thought it might be kind of a fun double feature with that. Not that it has really anything to do with that, but just it, for me, it had that kind of like not as good as the original, but still had that kind of 80s campy, over the top vibe, and maybe it would work in that sense. But guys, that was my first week of 31 Days of Halloween. This is going to be interesting. Let's just say that. I'm going to be doing a thrifting haul video tomorrow instead of with this video, because otherwise this video would be like an hour long. So do stay tuned tomorrow for a thrifting haul video. I hope you enjoyed this first week of 31 Days of Halloween. I know a lot of people, content creators, are releasing their list of movies. I'm going to keep it a secret, and then, you know, you can tune in every Monday and find out what I watched and get my honest opinions on these movies, because like I said, I'd never watched, I might have seen House with the Clock in Its Walls once before, but the rest of these I had never seen. So these are honest opinions. I didn't really do a lot of research on them. I just thought I'm just going to watch them and do a straight up video and be very honest and open about it. So let me know your thoughts on those 6 movies. Were any of those your favorites, or do you think they're that I misunderstood what they were trying to do? Again, of all of these, I would say probably Howling 2 was probably the best. House with the Clock on Its Walls was okay. It was charming. It was cute. But the rest of these, I think you can probably just throw these in the trash bin and avoid them like the plague. But anyway, that was it for today for my 31 Days of Halloween video. Tune in next Monday for my next batch of amazing horror movies to see what else I've watched. And like I said, do tune in tomorrow for my latest thrifting haul, where I found some really good stuff. So make sure you tune in. Canadian fans will get that. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to do that. And maybe I should just do like a wacky comedy channel or something. But yeah, do subscribe if you haven't already, if you like this kind of content. I do a weekly What Did I Watch Last Week video every week, and I do thrifting haul videos as well. So then the last 2 years, I've been doing cult movie reviews, as well as horror movie reviews, as well as other types of reviews. So if you want to look at any of them, you can go on my channel and go under my playlists, and you can find 2 years worth of reviews of that stuff. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.